Welcome back. In this module, let's understand the second and third stanza. Second stanza. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of morning to where the cricket sings. There midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of linnet's wings. In this stanza, the poet says that when in Innisfree, he will feel peaceful, and he says that the feeling of peace is felt slowly and gradually. He describes how he would feel peaceful. In the morning time, when it is cloudy and the view is not very clear, then it will appear as if the morning has worn a veil and has hidden itself. Veil means a cover used to hide an object. Veils of the morning means a misty, foggy morning. Looking at this scene will make him feel peaceful. Further, he says that when the male cricket insect will sing a song, that sound will bring him at peace. Also, at midnight, when he will see the twinkling stars in the open sky, their shine will give him peace. In the afternoon, when the sunlight will give a purplish glow, it will also give him peace. During the evening, when he will see the linnet bird flying in the sky, then also he will be feeling peaceful. A linnet is a small bird that flocks in large groups. Third stanza. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. In this stanza, the poet says that now he will stand up and go to Innisfree because all the time the sound of the lake water striking the shore repeats in his mind. Lapping means gently striking against something repeatedly. Shore means land adjoining a lake or an ocean. The sound attracts him towards the lake. Wherever he is, either standing on the roadway or on the grey-colored pavements, he hears a sound deep in the innermost part of his heart. It is at this point in the poem that the speaker shakes himself out of his daydream, in which he has described the scenes on the lake isle of Innisfree and begins to address the real world. It seems that the speaker lives in a city, or at least somewhere in which he is surrounded by roads and pavements, both of which are not classical manifestations of nature. The haunting images of the lake isle of Innisfree are heard not in his head, but in his heart. The form of this poem is clear through the straightforward formatting of the quatrains and rhyme scheme. Now let's understand the rhyme scheme of the poem. The rhyme scheme followed in this poem is A, B, A, B. There is a very strong end rhyme in the poem. In the first stanza, Innisfree rhymes with honeybee and maid rhymes with glade. The same rhyming scheme is repeated in the other two stanzas.